Primetime, that's the name.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God, this is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Welcome into a Wednesday, a beautiful day on the First Coast. Warming up. Love it. Golf Club of Southampton bringing you today's show, a little 9 after 5 later on. Golf weather, you can definitely go along with that. So we'd love to have you out. We'll be telling you all about it a little bit later on. We got to keep talking about the draft. And I think maybe more than anything else, the fact that the draft has signaled a couple of other big moves. I don't know if they're signature moves, but they're certainly setting the table for what this franchise and its leadership is all about. And the two are basically Ethan Waugh moving on. He was the assistant general manager. He was the first lieutenant under Trent Baalke, and he moves on. And then today they make the decision that Devin Lloyd will not get that 5th year of his contract. They are not picking up the option. I think those are two big moves, and we're going to spend some time talking Jaguar football today, Leon and Matt. We're going to get into how many starters we think came out of this offseason. Yep. But first to the Devin Lloyd decision, because we've talked about him a bunch, about just turning him into the player that they hoped he would be.
Yeah, well, I wasn't surprised by the not picking up the option. And Devin Lloyd could look at this one or two ways. I mean, he could either first of all, he's upset about it. Mm-hmm. I don't care what anybody says he's upset, but he should be motivated by it because there's nothing more refreshing for a player than proving the team wrong. I was in that situation as well. Maybe not a situation with another year option, but I'm playing out the last year of my contract, essentially. So both hands are going to get fed because Devin Lloyd's going to take it personal. He's going to play inspired football, which is going to help the team. Then he's going to play inspired football and go into free agents and make himself some money. So I think that's going to be key. But, he's got to handle it like a professional, But he should have a big old chip on his shoulder because Trayvon Walker got his option fulfilled, and he didn't. So that's how you got to look at it.
Yeah, or he'll just play like Devin Lloyd's played. Or it'll just be that. Or we'll look at it like these guys traded back into the first round for this cat, who they then misused for 3 years. Now here we go with the 4th year. See if they're going to misuse him again.
Well, actually, don't how do you know they're going to misuse him? He may not be the player.
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's see if they misuse him again. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but and whenever here's the other thing. I at least got to jump right back and say, hey, they're not going to misuse him again because this is a brand new bunch.
No, that's what I'm saying. I say hopefully we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah.
I'm not like I am not going to jump into the deep end right now with this group. I'm staying in the shallow end. I like what's going on.
Problem. Yeah, no problem with that.
I like the moves. I think they're making good moves, okay? I'm not automatically going to think the line's going to be great because it's now with a different coach, or Devin Lloyd's going to be a completely different player because now he's going to be coached better. I think if you legitimately want to look at it, they drafted Lloyd's replacement with Kaiser.
Yeah, so in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways you can look at this. Could he be a different player? Of course he can.
Right.
Could they be in a situation where they're going to tell Devin, look, you can't cover. We just want you on the edge. Go get the quarterback. And then he has 7, 8, 9 sacks, and he goes and plays elsewhere for the Ravens or the Steelers, and now all of a sudden he's a legit edge guy and he turns into a star. Could I see that happening? Absolutely, I could see that happening.
Yeah, and I just look at it like I got to separate what lousy job the last group did.
Lousy is like is underselling it too.
Yeah, crappy and poop emoji, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but I mean, there's got to be some accountability on Devin Lloyd's aspect as well. If he couldn't cover, why you couldn't cover? Are you too heavy? You don't know your assignments. You don't know the breakdown. You don't know the coverage.
Very true.
I mean, you got to take that into perspective too. Is the fact that we give you an assignment to run. If you can't run it, that's on you.
Yeah. And Leon,
although they want you to play guard, but you want no part. You want no part of that.
Hey, I kindly went in there and told them, listen, you want the best out of me? Move me to tackle.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe he said that to them. Maybe he said, look, I can't cover. Well, he put me on the edge. And then they said, no, we think we can teach you to cover.
Leon never stepped in at guard. He stayed at tackle.
Right.
Okay?
No, but my point is maybe he did the same thing that Leon did.
No, hear what I'm saying. He stayed at tackle. Devin Lloyd stayed at outside linebacker, okay? And so he was that coming in. He remained that. He played in a 3-4 and a 4-3. He played outside. He played inside.
Never played edge.
Whatever, man.
Never.
He made a lot of tackles last year when Foye was kicked outside. And while I will agree that these coaching staffs, the last year of Mike Caldwell, the year with the cheap trick defensive coordinator, Mr. Nielsen, they didn't get a lot out of it. But back to Leon's point, and I just want you to verify this. Sometimes you go on X and they want you to verify yourself. Can you verify that linebackers actually have to cover? They can't just. They do. Okay.
They do.
Yes, you bring this up all the time,
sure.
and I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. My whole point of this entire argument is you've seen, or even before last year, you saw for 2 years, he can't cover.
Well,
so why are you having him play off linebacker? He's not an off linebacker.
Well, I understand that you could put him. You have only a couple of. Actually, they went 3 options. They did strong side. They did weak side.
Right. Right. Guess what? Can't cover. Can't cover. Can't cover.
Yeah. Does that position come with training wheels? I mean, because if it does, then I understand it completely.
Right. Then
if you can't cover,
keep
if you can't
jamming the
no,
round
what I'm
peg in the square hole.
What I'm saying is, if you can't cover at some particular point, you got to figure out what can I do to where I can cover.
Yeah.
Lose weight. Study more film, whatever you need, practice a little harder.
Or if you're the GM and you say, okay, we spent some capital on this cat.
Yeah.
We moved back in the first round to get him. Let's see what he does best instead of trying to jam him into something that he doesn't do well.
This is where our roads part, because I do believe that they had situations where he was rushing the passer. He just wasn't as successful as you'd like him to be. No one was as successful as you'd like them to be going after the quarterback. Just take a look at the
right, which makes it even more crazy that they didn't even try.
Like I said, I just like the idea that we are going to get the measuring stick this year. He is on this football team this year. He ain't going anywhere this year unless they move him. But for the here and now, he's part of the plans. See what they do get out of him. And then back to Searcy's point, see what he does to make himself more valuable, more attractive to whoever is going to get him next go.
I always tell you that the first round picks get the longest leash. Mm-hmm. All right? They got the longest leash. I mean, this is a new regime. They've watched the film. They've seen his limitations. They see their strengths. They're going to play to his strengths this year. If they see the same that they saw on film for the last couple of years, he's gone.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree, but it's just, to me, it's and I know you're big on there's got to be accountability with the players, and I agree with you. All I'm saying is, man, they screwed that kid. And same thing they did with Walker Little. They wouldn't just stick him at one spot. Play there. Well, that's your best spot.
Let's also make that clear. He didn't win a spot.
Well, he didn't, but in 2022, when they were at their best, when this club was at their best, he played at a high level left tackle the last 7 games of the season.
There were a lot of guys that played at a high level.
Okay. All right.
Last 7 games of the season.
And then the next year, what'd they do? Hey, let's play left guard.
Yeah, they didn't quite line up, but that was...
I know you've never played guard in your life, but let's play left guard.
Well, but again, now I just love this circle of stuff that we do all the time, because there's same words came out on this show. Find the 5 best guys and put them out there.
No, that's Dave Campos saying that, not me. Not me.
Okay,
that's the former NFL coach saying that.
I know, but it's still when we look at it, is that Walker Little is above average, but not necessarily establishing himself as elite. He could not beat out Cam Robinson, or he couldn't beat out Cam Robinson's contract.
Right. I think it's the latter more than the former.
Both of them were part of the equation, I think. If he was overwhelmingly good versus Cam, he might have beat out Cam Robinson's
I still don't
contract.
think you're putting $18 million on the bench
but
like that.
They put him in a position, and then he did get hurt, and it didn't work out well. Look, it was a bit of a poop show, as we started our show off with. So we definitely need to look at that. But the main things that are happening is that they've put position groups on notice as either saying they're thin or they're replaceable. And that's where they went in the draft and in free agency. Their initiative is pretty clear. Let's make this football team more physical at the line of scrimmage, and let's make this football team a little more fleet of foot. Let's get some speed here. And so they've done both of them, and we're going to go through it coming up just as far as how many starters were basically harvested in this offseason and how many of them are going to be good. We really don't know. But the other part of it is they basically are telling guys, and what do we always say, Leon? Jaguar good.
Yeah.
And they're going to get to a point where they got to all be NFL good and compete.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're looking for in this OTA and training camp. Some new, fresh competition because a lot of those guys that were been here, I call them lifeline Jaguars, are going to be moved to the side, and we brought in a heap of other talent from free agency and the draft, and they're going to press these guys. They've been here too long and been comfortable with their positions, and I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Antonio Johnson didn't play at a high level because it was basically his job. They had nothing else.
Well, they went back and forth actually with him and Savage.
Right. But now maybe you've got a little, you got a young guy now. You got a guy they just drafted, a guy they've invested in.
Yeah.
And he's no longer he's not their guy. They didn't draft him.
Yeah.
So now maybe that gives him a little bit of a fire.
Well, and they signed a safety in Murray that also is in their starting plans that they're going to go for.
He's certainly their guy, quote unquote their guy. Yeah.
All right, hit us with that real quick, JJ.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, this happened a little while ago, but we at least need to kind of bring it up early in the show. The NFL fining the Falcons and their defensive coordinator / former interim up there with the New York Football Jets, Jeff Ulbrich, for what his son ultimately did. $350,000, $250,000 $250,000 to the team, $100,000 to the now defensive coordinator for basically getting a hold of Shador's number off the burner phone and sending him or making the phone call that he's going to be picked up soon. Just classic.
He got his number off the iPad, off his dad's iPad. I mean,
you got to love it.
Know what I would make that kid do? I make him pick up trash around the facilities and pay back that money. I absolutely would.
It's a lot of trash.
Yeah, a lot of trash. I'm telling you, that's the only way you're going to get if bad behavior goes unpunished, then what are you saying?
It's the truth.
Tell that man to take out some trash.
But it's not on the NFL to kind of come down on a kid, which they did by
finding pops.
By finding pops and buying the team. It's on the pops to come down on his kid.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of
just
pops,
cost Atlanta $250, bro.
No, I know he did, but that's kind of my point. What's the NFL has no business in this. It's on the dad and the kids and his son.
Well, the NFL needed to hammer the Falcons for allowing it to happen.
Just going to let it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of dads, let's get into one other one coming up here in just a second. It is XL Primetime Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. 287 play is the number. We got beautiful weather. You got a 9-hole game. You got food afterwards. Skins game, which is definitely a popular part of the proceedings tonight because you got guys that are playing for skins, and then also a little bit of that pot just goes to anyone who plays to make it kind of an incentive for everybody. So call 287 play. Come on out and enjoy a little 9 after 5 at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Great defensive play by Donovan Darius. What a game he's put in.
I'm Donovan Darius.
Donovan Darius, again, we called his name a lot.
1010XL.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
All right, gentlemen, we've trained for this. We've battled the elements. But if there's one thing we can't afford, it's letting the heat take us out before the big game.
But, Coach, the AC at my house is busted. I barely got any sleep last night.
Well, Johnson, you should have called Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. They're the real MVPs. Now let's cue the cool music.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
Free Comic Book Day. Hey, I'm Ben Kay, owner of Gotham City Limit, your local comic shop, inviting you to the Community Party of the Year, Saturday, May 3rd. Free comics, free food, huge discounts, and more. Let's take Free Comic Book Day to the limit. Gotham City Limit.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Are you struggling with hair loss? At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women. With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us, and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
The NBA playoffs are here, and there's no better place to catch the action than Hurricane Grill and Wings. With slam dunk specials like $3.75 Miller Lite drafts, plus fresh, never frozen wings in over 30 flavors, and big screens everywhere. This is your home for all the games. Handcrafted cocktails, bold flavors, big plays. Don't just watch the games, experience them at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
What does your dream backyard look like? Hey, it's Joe C. and my friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can design an outdoor kitchen layout custom built to your taste and lifestyle. You dream it, they can build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Visit cssoutdoor.com.
It's your boy E.T. here, and if you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament, May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club, text Guggen to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win. You can win Twin Peak lunches if I sink a putt for you. Pick up some cigars from Tobacco Cove. Win great prizes on the course from Edwin Watts Golf. Pick up some sun care kits from Beach's Dermatology. And thanks to our sponsors, CSS Outdoors, the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, 234, and Royal Pest Services.
Mia here, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. What you really want to know is, why buy from Arlington Toyota? How about over 800 vehicles, one lot, 60-day exchange, and friendly credit for everyone? Plus, right now, get zero down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or how about no payments till August 2025? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit rocket.com. That's rocket.com.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
Here we go. Halliburton. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Halliburton for the lead. 1.3 to go.
Me and my pops have talked about that, and I don't agree with what transpired there from him. I think basketball is basketball, and let's keep it on the court. And I think that he just got excited, saw his son make a game winner, and came on the court. But I think we had a conversation, and I think he just needs to just allow me to just play basketball, stay over there. I'll come to him then.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a lit it up like we like to go back and relive last night, but that one was a bit of fire between Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis. The Milwaukee Bucks bounced in the first round, ... again. The way Halliburton went around Giannis was definitely something that's going to be talked about a bunch. But Pop's coming onto the court, waving the T-shirt at him. Oh man!
Well, I mean, this is not new. We've seen back. We've seen parents become adjutants in sports. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Pop's show don't bite his tongue when it comes to his son when it comes to games. And remember LeBron James' mom. Yeah. Remember LeBron James' mom? I don't know who was that against, JJ, where LeBron told her to shut the hell up or something like that.
Oh, I know LeBron James' mom was definitely involved in his career. We all remember
Yeah,
back.
but something happened behind the rim where there was a fight and a tussle, and she stood up and he told her to sit up behind down or something like that. So I mean, we've got history of adjutant.
And then
parents.
let's not forget about LeVar Ball. Okay?
Oh yeah, you can't forget about LeVar.
Yeah, but
Ball.
I never saw LeVar go at it. I saw him trash talk plenty of other players. But
you're not walking
to
onto the
come
court.
onto the court and Giannis, knowing Giannis could rip you apart too.
Yeah.
And Giannis was the most mellow response that you could have seen.
You got John Morant's dad. You know. He's a little chalky.
I think he's been told to take a step back.
He's a little chalky. And let's not forget about the Joker. The Joker's brothers?
Yeah.
You know, they don't
They've
mess around.
threatened other players.
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely.
I would be scared to death.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, this is not new.
Yeah, that's got like a little John Wick to it too.
Oh, it's got
Joker's brothers.
It's got Youngstown Mafia written all over it. Okay?
Absolutely.
It's scary.
Yes.
But there you go. Who lit it up last night? Interesting the way it finished, but for the Milwaukee Bucks, and for that matter, Doc Rivers, also coaching another team that gets bounced in the first round. They have gone from winning a title to being eliminated the next year in the Eastern Conference Finals to being eliminated, I believe, 3 straight years in the first round. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, they did not light it up last night. Just make sure you check out American-Electrical.com, and they can show you how they can light up your world, residential or commercial. All right, so a little NBA from last night that we definitely wanted to squeeze in, but the most important thing that we need to get to is the second half of the Final Four in Leon's countdown and his mythical national championship. But first, that
just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, as the crowd is literally blowing the roof off the Mercedes-Benz Dome there in Atlanta, the anticipation is just electric.
I'm actually at the game.
Electric.
Love it.
In fact, let's go hear Eddie O's pregame talk real quick, JJ, if you don't mind.
Before that,
I'm glad you didn't have that Ralph Salafusa would never got past number 1.
Yeah.
Go
All right, Jordan Travis, former Florida State quarterback, has officially retired. And all you can take from that is that must have been one nasty leg injury.
I think of both Mackenzie Milton and Jordan Travis in the same way a lot.
Although Mackenzie's was the knee, which is different, and Jordan was just simply complete compound fracture.
Yes. But the reason I'm saying it is because it was multiple surgeries for both of these guys. Mackenzie had over 30.
Yeah.
And Jordan Travis had a horrific injury. And Mackenzie came to Florida State, remember, to try and help them back.
Right.
And anyway, Jordan Travis became a superstar at that point.
Yeah.
And then just unfortunately had a hell of a bad.
Well, I mean, at some particular time, a player's got to realize if you want quality of life.
Yeah.
All right. You got to think about that because something that, like you said, as severe as that. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had Lloyd's in London insurance, which means that he probably can't play anymore if he's going to collect on it.
I mean, that's if you think honestly, when you really think about it, you could make the argument that the two greatest quarterbacks in the history of Florida State football will have never played in the NFL. Charlie Ward and Jordan Travis.
Yeah, you could. And
Jameis,
dude, Jordan Travis.
Come on.
Yeah.
Jordan Travis, man. Considering
way better than that.
I would not say.
Considering what Jordan Travis was with and what he was working with and how he just basically carried that team.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And if he had stayed healthy to play for a title, we will never know.
Yeah, he easily could have won a national title that year.
But I can go along with whenever you say two of the great, not the two greatest.
I think you can make an argument for the two greatest. I actually think you can. Yeah. Because he That team, Jameis, was. I mean, we talked about that team. All the NFL players in that team.
Oh, yeah.
It was unreal, that team.
But I still would go back and think of some other.
By the way, that still didn't get past the 2008 Gators.
Yeah, no, they did not. But I still would go back and think of a handful of other Florida State quarterbacks.
Chris Winkie, of course.
Yeah.
Winkie's not close to Jordan.
I know. I was just bringing up. How about Chris Ricks, first player to ever lose to the same school 5 times?
I'm not dissing him, Jay.
Miami legend.
Winkie was hoisting a Heisman.
I know. I get it.
And I don't care if he was 45. It doesn't matter. He played. Especially in today's world, he would have been fully embraced and accepted and welcomed in for his 8th year.
He would have. There's no doubt. But, he also, again, a guy with a ton of NFL players around him.
Yeah.
Ton. Yeah. Maybe the best player to ever play at Florida State was
Jordan Travis was as good a magician in getting out of jams as anybody that has played that position.
Such a good player.
Vic-esque or Johnny Manziel-esque.
Wouldn't you love to have seen him play in the NFL? Like, just at least try to play in the NFL?
Well, I would love to have seen him play in the playoffs just to see how that would have gone down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so speaking of playoffs, the mythical matchup that just really we can't wait to see this one go down. It's on X. You can go to @1010XL. And as it starts off, Ozzy 1010 phrases it, arguably the 2 greatest teams in college football history.
Absolutely.
Facing off.
And I had to pit them against each other. We've already got one team in the tournament in the national title game. 2008 Florida. They beat 2013 Florida State, so they're in the national championship game.
They got a pretty good draw.
Yeah, worthy.
A pretty good draw.
Pretty easy draw for the Gators.
Okay.
I do see how you set it up bracket-wise, so you could face. I would have expected these 2 teams might have been on opposite sides of the bracket. But.
Nah, I couldn't have that. Nah.
Yeah. Okay. All
right. Well, the game is at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, GA, ATL.
Record crowd, too.
Record crowd, yes, absolutely. Record crowd. All right. The going line right now in the game is Miami by 1. 1. The over-under is 70.
Bang the over.
Yes.
Listen, I told you.
It changed 10 points in
Yes, changed 10 points.
Once
Joe said bang the over, that was it.
It was not a shock to me because Vegas has been hit hard like this before.
Yeah,
exactly. They've lost a ton.
We've seen these lines jump in 24 hours, like 9 points. I'm not shocked.
They're almost bankrupt in this tournament. Are you kidding me?
Yes, they are. All right, so let's start with the 2019 LSU Tigers. Go Tigers. They went 15-0 SEC and national champions. They play at Tiger Stadium, also known as Death Valley. Their head coach is Eddie Ogeron. They run a pro spread offense and a 3-4 defense. Team is led by Heisman Trophy winner Joe Coolborough, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. The pathway to the championship starts with a number 9 victory over Texas, a number 7 victory over Florida, number 9 victory over Auburn. They beat number 3 Alabama 46-3. They beat a number 4 Georgia at the time 37-10 SEC championship game. Semifinal game, they beat Oklahoma 63-28 in the semis.
63-28.
You've never seen a happier Big Vic.
49-7 at halftime.
49-7 at half, absolutely. Nice. And then the national championship game against number 3 Clemson, they beat them 42-25. LSU, that next year in the 2020 NFL draft, they had 5 first-rounders. They had 14 players selected overall get drafted that year.
I mean, the best player of that group with that 5 was K'Lavon Chason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
recognized.
Best pick of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be in the Pride one day. So LSU scored 726 points, which is an NCAA record, by the way.
Of course it is.
Joe Burrow, at that particular season, completed 76% of his passes for over 5,671 yards and 60. That's right, 60 touchdowns he threw in that season.
Is he?
That's just like stupid video game numbers.
Is
seriously.
he the greatest transfer portal guy?
Yes.
Easily.
Yes. Not even close.
Easily. Yes.
Not only that, greatest single season in NCAA history too. Yeah.
They ought to have a statue of him when they enter the transfer portal.
Jamar Chase had 1,780 yards and 20 touchdowns.
God.
Justin Jefferson had 1,540 and 18 touchdowns.
One guy had 20, the other guy had 18.
It's nuts. And you take a look at who they played, which we will go through
absolutely
as we go along today. A 1-point line.
1-point line. Miami's favored by 1.
Hang on real quick. He threw 60 touchdown passes.
Yeah. He did.
2 of those receivers caught 38 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And one cat caught, I think, 4 of them in the first half of that game. Was it Terrace that caught?
No, it was Justin Jefferson against Oklahoma. Yeah.
Chase only had like 60 yards, I think.
All right, I was thinking it was Marshall.
Yeah, okay. Justin Jefferson had 200-some yards and like 4 touchdowns. He just kept chucking it deep to him.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to look at the defensive side of Miami.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whether or not they could handle it.
All right, here we go. We got the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. They were the Big East, the national champions. They played the Orange Bowl, called the OB, better known as the Mecca. Miami, Florida, the 305. Head coach was Larry Coker. Offensive coordinator was Rob Jasinski. Defensive coordinator was Randy Shannon.
Speaking of statues.
Yes. They ran a pro-style offense and a 4-3 defense with a cover 2 in the back end. Their pathway to the championship is that they beat Penn State 33-7, first game of the season. They beat number 13 Florida State, number 15 Syracuse, number 11 Washington, number 14 Virginia Tech. And in the national championship game, they beat Nebraska. For the national champion, Miami's offense averaged 42.6 per game. Their defense stoppage 9.75 points per game.
Less than 10.
That's
some serious stoppage.
Yeah, there's some stoppage. Miami Hurricanes had 17 first-rounders on that roster. 17 first-rounders. And had 38 players drafted.
Are you making that up? 17 first-rounders?
Over a 3-year period.
Yeah, 17 first-rounders. Yes.
You got to be making that up.
17. No, I'm not making it up. With that roster, 17 first-rounders, yes. And they had 38 NFL draft players.
Meanwhile, Miami just went like 4 years without having a first-rounder until Cam.
Why?
Yeah.
Sad.
Why did Butch walk away from that?
The Browns.
I'm like, I don't care.
And then,
why would he walk
a great
away
franchise
from that?
like the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's why he had to lie about it, too. It's because no one could believe it. He can't be walking away from this.
He could have won, he could have literally been.
Could have been Jimmy Johnson.
He cost us 2 at least.
At least.
Yeah,
at least.
And Jimmy at least left after winning his, Butch had assembled an unbelievably great.
He should have been able to coach in a 2000 national title.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really got screwed out of even being able to play in that.
They did in 2000. I mean, he has said publicly it was a gigantic mistake for him to leave Miami. He's already said that, but still, it's Howard Schnellenberger said the same thing. It was the worst move of his career when he left Miami.
All right, so that's it. That's the setup. We're going to do it coming up here in just a second. Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. Call 287-PLAY. 9 after 5 tonight. A little after 5, you got time to get there. You got a 9-hole game, a skins game. You got prizes. You got food. Just make sure you head on out and enjoy a night of golf at the Golf Club of Southampton.
It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's finally here. Are you ready for it? Yeah, we ready for it. Are you ready for it? Yeah, we ready for it. Then get ready for it.
1010XL.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. There was a time if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers, man. Pizza, pasta, bread, carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then, Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving we have all accepted as normal? It's gone now. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff. But here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when that server puts the bread basket down, nope, I'm good. And that feeling of control, everybody, is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Baloo's flying by in his own way, and you can lose whatever you want, no matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life. It'll change yours too. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the trumpet call heard round the world. Experience the thrill of the Kentucky Derby at Best Bet. Saturday, May 3rd, witness the most exciting 2 minutes in sports and dive into the action with live wagering. This could be your lucky day. Mark your calendars and join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine on May 3rd for the Kentucky Derby. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
1010XL Draft Profiles are brought to you by River City Screens.
The Teal and Black looked to make a statement in round 1 of the draft, and they wouldn't disappoint as he traded up to secure the number 2 pick, selecting Travis Hunter of Colorado, a two-way star unlike anything the NFL has seen in the modern era, viewed as both the best corner and receiver in the draft class. James Gladstone has excited the squad and fan base with his selection, feeling that Hunter won't only alter the team, but the entire sport as we know it.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 30th, 1939, Lou Gehrig sets MLB record playing his 2,130th consecutive and final game for the New York Yankees.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
Is your office productivity running at full speed? Advanced Business Solutions has the solution with Xerox copiers. Whether you need high-volume printing, scanning, or secure document management, Xerox copiers deliver efficiency, quality, and innovation. With features like cloud integration and mobile printing, Xerox is perfect for any modern office. Let ABS help you streamline your workflow. Better known, Advanced Business Solutions.
Advanced Business Solutions.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Almost 20 minutes left to play. Here comes the blitz on Burrow. They give him chase, and he somehow escapes again. And now throws late on the run. Got it! Justin Jefferson. Gonna run out of real estate, but it's first and goal for us. I think we just saw the next Tiger to win it in 2019. Look at this play.
He had the Heisman play against Alabama with the run, and this one is his second Heisman move. He stole that play from Georgia.
Give it to Portis. Lost his balance, but keeps on going, and he might tear it open. Touchdown. They're on 3rd and 7 right now. The ball is whipped downfield. Intercepted. Went right through the hands of the receiver. And it's touchdown Miami, James Lewis.
This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
I'm not a fan of either one of those teams, but I just feel like I got to light a cigarette after listening to that. It was just, oh my gosh, that was ecstasy when you hear some of the sounds of those play-by-play voices. And that was 2001 Miami, 2019 LSU. They are going toe-to-toe, head-to-head in this mythical matchup. And it's where the Sweet 16 of Leon Searcy is building to a championship matchup. Whoever wins this one is going on against the Florida Gators of 2008. One of our texters, XL Primetimer, says, I'm sorry, but the Gators don't have a chance against either of these two teams. And so there are plenty of others that are jumping in. And just let us know. When you hear those highlights and you think of how great Miami was and how great LSU was, prolific offensively, you've got are we midway through the first quarter?
Yeah, midway through the first quarter. 14-0. LSU.
LSU. And listen, that is not a shock.
Oh my God, JJ's got like weak legs right now.
He's at the game. He's freaking out. He's seen this. He's witnessing it.
I just went and bought 2 beers instead of 1.
I just got a text from him that said, bro, this doesn't look good.
2? Are those?
Run the damn ball.
Oh, my
That's what I said.
Over the top, right? They're just beating. Now, that includes, if they're getting the back end of that Miami secondary.
Which I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Jamar and Justin.
All right.
There were some All-Americans back there.
Yeah, they are.
Some Hall of Famers as well.
All right, so there you go.
It's early.
An early 14-0 midway through the first quarter. You can go to X at 1010XL. Throw a comment on there whether you think it would be 0-1 Miami, 19 LSU. We'd love to hear some of those. We need to hear of that right now, though.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We have a statement from Bill Belichick.
No.
I kid you not.
All right, hang on.
I kid you not. We have a probably 300-word statement from Bill Belichick.
Oh my gosh! Now, are his lips moving or Yoko Ono? Who typed this?
First off, don't disrespect John Lennon like that, man. They're not even the same ballpark, John Lennon and Bill Belichick. All right.
Well, I can put Giselle on.
I'm gonna read the entire thing.
Is McCartney like Brady
right
in that?
Yeah.
All right. Are you guys ready for this series?
Yes, I don't know if we can go 200. We'll nix you whenever we feel like we need to.
Should I read it like Bill?
Paraphrase.
I agree to speak with CBS Sunday morning.
Put the hood on.
I agree to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist at Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book.
God.
Unfortunately, Belichick continues, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony, I can't pronounce his last name, and I'm not even going to try, man, and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom there's no Hudson after that. It's just Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan,
insert my name here.
With whom I share both the personal and professional relationship. Stepped in to reiterate that.
Assistant coach.
To reiterate that point. You got to let me read it, you guys. You're making me laugh.
Sorry. She's
to help refocus the discussion. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply doing her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips make it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met. But we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. The final 8-minute segment does not reflect the productive 35-minute conversation we had, which covered a wide range of topics related to my career.
All right, we're bored now.
Instead, it presents... Hang on, this is... I'm going to read this in Belly because this is Belly. Okay. Instead, it presents selectively edited clips and stills from just a few minutes of the interview to suggest a false narrative that Jordan was attempting to control the conversation, which is simply not true.
I'm actually with Belly on this.
Well, she said, and put that last part in there, too.
Look at JJ, you're with Belly on this.
We know how the media can manipulate clips and edit things. Are you serious? Come on, man.
You're going to manipulate that where she says we're not getting into this?
No, but if, like he said, if they asked him or if he was supposed to just do an interview on things not in the book, I told them, don't ask me about this, and they asked me about it. How do you think Belichick's going to respond?
Well,
and his girl being the right-hand man or right-hand woman that she is,
JJ.
was like, hey, I'm sticking up for my man.
Just hang on one second,
like that.
okay? If the fact that it's so, all we did, we met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021.
Yeah, why are we
That's
talking?
all he had to
Belichick
say.
doesn't like to talk about
That's all he had to say.
He didn't have to say anything.
That's number one. Right. No. That's the number two. Here's the most important point, too, is number two is, does he think like CBS wanted him on their morning program to talk X's and O's? They want to know about her.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
Do. And that's why they were.
They should have been prepared for that, and they weren't.
No.
The point.
Actually, I think they were prepared for it, and I think they got gold. Gold. Jerry.
No, he's saying Belichick should have been prepared.
To Joe's point.
Yeah.
And I can understand this, and I actually embrace a little of this. They knew it was coming.
You root for fireworks.
Yes, they want that because that, number one, it's great for the book, and number two, it's great for any news is good news.
How many times have we mentioned that morning show this week?
No, you guys are talking about separate things.
We're talking about different things. I'm talking about Belichick.
Saying that Belichick planned this to blow up to sell books.
Actually,
you're saying that CBS loved it. I think maybe both could be
I was just going to say, JJ, maybe we like each other's scenarios.
Yeah. I'll go along with it. Both hit home runs.
Right.
And so 100%.
I think it's just a beautiful lady sticking up for her man, and I love that.
Of course, why not? The fact that Belichick released like a 300-word statement.
Blake would have beat their ass, dude.
The guy who says no comment to everything released a 300-word statement.
Yeah. That just tells me who wrote that bad boy. That's for sure.
God.
All right, so there we are. What's more shocking, 14-0 LSU up on Miami, or this from Belly?
By the way, it was a release through the University of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they're still involved.
So maybe they said, hey, Bill, clean up on aisle 4.
Yeah.
Get to it.
We need this, okay? Because we've committed however $30+ million to your
More
big
than that.
behind.
How does this affect the transfer portal?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so interesting. That's for sure. We'll figure out whether or not it goes in another direction when it's all said and done. All right, I have someone that is just wickedly dialing me right now. They just keep getting in my ear.
On your cell phone?
Yeah.
Don't they know you have a show?
I know. I don't think this person knows who I am. All right.
TLD knows you're working right now, right?
I would hope. I listen. The golf mafia.
She just wants you to get home quickly.
Spanky and all of them. They go, "What time is your show on again?" They just try and.
So is the problem that your hearing device?
Yeah.
I don't want to say aid because that insinuates you're an old man.
This is some serious button dialing.
Your hearing device, it's connected to your phone, so when someone calls you, you get a thing in your ear. And right now, it's okay.
Yeah, it's the AirPods basically. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, someone is seriously butt dialing me right now. That's for sure. All right, so we got the Belichick saga. We got the early 14-0 LSU over Miami lead. You got Devin Lloyd that is basically taking the next 17 ball games and going to try and turn himself into a star in the making for the next football team. That's basically what he's doing.
A signable.
Yeah. He's not going to sign here. No. He's not going to sign.
Unless he has an unbelievable season and they have an unbelievable.
We have a tendency when teams tell us that they were not wanted, we're not going to sign.
You're gone.
We're gone. We're auditioning for 31 other teams.
So let's make this the 10-10 take real quick because we'll at least get it back to the Jags because we're going into the 3 o'clock hour with Mark Ross, who's part of NFL Network, the Insiders, Path to the Draft, and he's been in front offices a bunch. And so we're going to talk about the whole draft. But first.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
You can definitely enjoy a delicious meal, lunch, dinner. If you're party planning, get them in on the catering side because they can load up some delicious barbecue and bring it to your party. And then all you get to do is have fun, like maybe the Kentucky Derby on Saturday, whatever it might be. But the idea right now that you're renewing this roster, we have been through this, guys, all of Duval out there many, many times. We've gone through a Dave Caldwell-led front office where they basically had to just reinvent the bottom half of the roster annually. They'd bring in 30, 40 guys, and ultimately it was close to a third of the roster that was renewed every single year. And then they go through the draft, and they go through free agency, and between Caldwell spending and ultimately Trent Baalke's decisions to spend, it hasn't netted enough guys through the draft, through free agency, to stick and stay. You hope now that you are looking at a draft board when it's all said and done that will have a stick and stay feel to it. If these are going to be guys that are going to be playing here for 4 years and beyond, playing their way towards second contracts and making contributions all the while. Because now Devin Lloyd goes down as another guy who is not going to get a second contract. That's the 10-10 take. They've got to fix that problem.
I mean, you would hope that this is part of the entire process of let's go completely different from what we've been, right? And you hope that, and again, hope is not a plan, but you hope that these guys are going to make the right decisions. The first one right out of the gate was maybe the biggest one ever in the history of this franchise. No one has ever done anything remotely close to that.
No.
In the draft. So, I mean, they came in with a bang. Let's see what happens, man. I mean, it's if you're looking at this thing from 30,000 feet, you're like, all right, that's a big first step.
Right.
You can go all the way down to ground zero and get all into the minutia of it and say, well, this was a mistake or that was a mistake. But, man, they came firing.
Yeah,
right out of the gate. And apparently, they'd known for 2 weeks. It was a done deal for almost 2 weeks, right?
I think they had said you had to put in the requirements. So the discussion took place. Then they met and agreed on it. Then you had to have several days to put it in front of the NFL and make sure that everything was going to go through in time for the draft and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, you're saving yourself money not having to go through free agency all the time if you draft well. Because you're getting these guys on their rookie contracts. If they're starters and you've got them on rookie contracts, you don't have to go into free agency and overspend to bring in a guy to fill in a void that you made a mistake on. So that's why it's so important that the guys that you draft, that you hit on them, that they are day one starters from the beginning. And this is just one of the building blocks. This has got to be a continual thing for year 2, 3, 4, 5. How long are they? As long as they're here,
right?
They've got to hit on at least. 60%, 70% of your draft picks? You got to.
I mean,
yeah.
You can't miss on them.
I always feel like you got to bat 500 at a minimum.
500.
At a minimum.
Okay.
And then if you are getting, and Walker Little, we'll just use him as an example because Baalke wanted to prove he could get a second contract in a guy's hands and get him to sign it. But there haven't been enough second contract guys. And so we'll see where it goes with this next group. But, yeah, they're back on the build. That's for sure. So let's say a little. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Ransau's got to be a starter. Milam's got to be a starter. You would hope, right?
Yeah, they're
you
two
would certainly
third-round picks. And if not a starter immediately, they grow into starters. That's ultimately what I'm looking for. Is it within the first half of the year? I don't know, but
if you draft a guy with the 88th overall pick and you're 4-13 the year before, he's got to be a starter.
You would think. Like I said, third-round draft picks have come in as offensive linemen and started immediately for this football team. Brandon Linder, A.J. Can, we can go down the line. So we'll see if it happens. All right, Mark Ross.
Quickly, we found out who was calling your phone.
Oh, yeah?
It's Ulbrich's son.
Oh, that's... Way to go, man. That's not cool. That's not cool, dude. It is the XL Primetime. Mark Ross of NFL Network. We're going to dial his phone coming up.
There's a magic in live radio that crackles with life and energy.
Let's go home!
Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
When you think of America, you think baseball, cookouts, military, and pride for our country. At Garber Auto Mall, we're proud to carry every American-made truck at one location. Ford, Chevy, GMC, Ram, and Jeep. With the largest inventory selection in North Florida, you can shop with one salesperson. Garber Auto Mall is proud to support our country, our military, and our community. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. Garber Auto Mall. Proud to be American.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Good teachers and coaches get the most out of their Scholar Athletes. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Franchi Show.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Mother's Day is coming. Don't run out of time. Small Cakes has sweets she'll love from you and the kids. Mention 1010XL to get 10% off now until Wednesday. Cupcakes to brownies to ice cream. Customize it so it's unique to mom. SmallCakesJacks.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Oh, no. No.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you struggling with hair loss? At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women. With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us, and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here. Summer heat is on the rise, but don't sweat it. Big Cheap Tire has your back with $50 off all AC services. Whether your system needs a quick recharge or a full repair, their expert team will keep you cool and road ready all season long. With 5 locations across Jacksonville, trusted service is always nearby. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your AC service. Big Cheap Tire keeps Jacks rollin'.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is Max Fink with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com. I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by TopDressing.com. The Jaguars added some speed at the running back position in the 4th round of the draft by drafting Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech. Tutin talked to Kai Stevens of the Jaguars shortly after his selection, going over some of the attributes he brings to the team.
I'd say speed and toughness are the 2 things I pride in. I have the speed to run away from defenses, and then I have the toughness to, run through defenses and run through linebackers and pass pro. So I think those 2 areas of my game, I definitely do succeed at that.
Tutin appeared in 24 games with the Hokies, rushing for 2,022 yards and 25 touchdowns on 356 carries, and bolted for a 4.32 40 at the Combine. We'll see if Liam Cohen found his version of Bucky Irving in this year's draft. His coach teams have an eye for running backs. It's 82 degrees at 3:01. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
We've been talking draft for a long time, but now we actually have the draft selections. And so let's take a look at the way this team was constructed with a guy who's been in the front office of the National Football League and knows a lot about it. We welcome in Mark Ross from the NFL Network. Mark, how you doing?
Excellent. How about you guys?
We're doing great. I think all Duval, as I always like to say, are so fired up for a variety of reasons. Most of them because they finally made the change, GM and head coach. They went out and got Liam Cohen, Gladstone, and so on. And then they pull off the deal for Travis Hunter. Start there, Mark. What did you think of that big move? And then we'll look at the overall draft class.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of euphoria going on there with Jacksonville, especially with Travis. But overall, not to be the voice of reason here, I just thought it was way too much what they gave up to get Travis. And the GM said, we're trying to get great players, which you are, but you're trying to get great players to build a team so you can win games. And just with Travis there's so many question marks and just so much more talent that needs to be infused on the team that I just didn't think he was worth that to give that up. And you're asking a lot of him to answer a whole lot of questions to do what he did. Unprecedented in the history of college football to say, okay, now come do that at our level, because that's really what the expectations is. There hasn't been a receiver with the number 2 pick since Calvin Johnson, and there hasn't ever been a corner at the number 2 pick in the modern draft era. So, again, he's going to have to do things that have been unprecedented, but in the big picture, what I just looked at is like, wow, that's a whole lot to give up for one player.
Yeah, Mark, I wanted to segue off there. I was going to ask you that question. Actually, you answered it for me. For the Jacksonville Jaguars to give up that much capital for a non-quarterback was very interesting to me. So if Travis Hunter isn't a Pro Bowler, essentially, a two-way star, is the move a fail?
Yeah, unless you go out there and win the Super Bowl. If you go win games and you crush it this year and Trevor turns into the guy, then it's a win and you won't be thinking about it. And, Travis is a great player. Now, if you start struggling again next year and you miss the playoffs again and, he is not this dynamic superstar and two-way player, then you have to say, did we make the right decision?
So, Mark, I don't think we've spoken to you since the decision was made to hire Liam Cohen and to go with James Gladstone. What do you think of the complete opposite of what this franchise has done forever, and them just going out on a limb and trying to change it completely now?
Yeah, you're doing it again. It's been a lot of change over the last X amount of years and different sort of personalities and guys coming from different ways. The college area. So it's now you're doing it another way of what he did as a coordinator, what Cohen did as a coordinator, does that translate to being a great head coach? He has to prove that. And with Gladstone, being the number 2, 3, 4, 5 guy, whatever he was on the pecking order there with the Rams, does that translate to being a great GM? But at least there are some proven track records, and these guys are aligned. I like that, you hired them at the same time, and they seem to have the same vision there. And, the youth has been talked about a lot, of course, so, that's a factor as well. But Hey, give it a shot. Let's see. And it's all about keep getting back to, can he get Trevor Lawrence right? And as he goes, the team will go, and that's really what they're tasked to do.
Yeah, you feel like that's the essence of it. It goes right back to 16. We're talking with Mark Ross. Spent over a decade in the National Football League with the New York Giants. They won a couple of Super Bowls while you were in the front office up there, so you know what winning looks like. And when you go back to what James Gladstone either helped or witnessed, however you want to phrase it, in L.A., they were mortgaging a lot of their future to get to that promised land. 2 first-round picks here, you know what they did. And they got to the Super Bowl. So this is, it's Gladstone seems familiar with the gamble.
Yeah, I know that's been used as the comparison, but to me it's a little bit different. Nothing's ever apples to apples. And, he had already been a part of a franchise with Les Snead and a head coach who shown to be dynamic, and they had the trust of the ownership to say, okay, you have time to do it. This is his first time out. He hasn't shown anything or proved anything or had the benefit of the doubt. And really what happened there with the Rams is a collection of stars that they got all at one time.
Right.
That made it work. Will there ever be an ability to get a Jalen Ramsey and an Odell Beckham and a Von Miller and all those guys at one time for this Jacksonville team? So, it's always risky when you compare or where you come from, and unless there's certain foundational tenets to do it. But, they did it just because I think there was a collection of stars that came together all at the right time, and they're able to get it done. And now they're resetting again where they're drafting a bunch of guys and trying a different approach there with the Rams. So it'll be interesting.
Now, Mark, Trevor has been the benefactor of a new regime, new coaching staff, new coordinator, new GM. All these essential weapons are going to be put around him this year for them to have success. If he struggles again this year at quarterback, will it be time to move on for Trevor and look at something else?
Yeah, it's just I don't know how many more years you can just say he's going to do it or he's going to change. After a couple years, it's that you pretty much know what the guy is. And but yeah, right now you got Brian Thomas Jr., who's top 5 receiver in the league possibly, and you put Travis in the mix, and you signed De'Ami Brown to help out as well, and signed some offensive linemen in the off season, and this is it for him. He's got to step up, and he has to do it. And you got a head coach who's shown he can get Baker Mayfield right, and so it's time. And if he falters again, and you see the same old Trevor, then now where do we go?
Hey, Mark, what do you like about Cam Ward, or do you think he was just the best quarterback of the year, so that's why you went number 1 overall?
No, I like Cam. I would have had him third last year's class. The different people this year say where he would have landed, but I would have had him third. He's just, number 1, he got so much better. He played a lot of football, but I watched him last year when he was at Washington State talking about coming out, and I was like, this guy has to stay. The accuracy was off. He was really streaky, didn't really have the great vision that you needed, and he got so much better in those aspects this year where he just played the game with such poise and calm, but intensity too when the game really mattered most in the fourth quarter when they had to go score points. And, the games they lost, it wasn't because of him. He was putting up 30-plus and 300 in the games that they lost. So the playmaking that he has, and I think that will just continue in the league where I just love the poise, the vision, the playmaking got better with his accuracy, and I think he's just going to be he's going to be a force.
Talk with Mark Ross, NFL Network. You can check him out there. Path to the Draft, the Insiders, and definitely comes from a front office point of view. So the rest of this draft, after we look at that Travis Hunter move, what did you think of the bulk of it? Moving once again in the 3rd round, getting some future capital, and then the guys they selected.
Yeah, I think the rest of the draft was really just mainly backups. I love the Vishal Tootin pick. That was one of my favorite guys in the draft. He's from Philly. He's from outside of here, and just you talking about an explosive player. I thought he had if there's a crease and a hole and a lane, he had the most explosive burst, including you, Aston Gentile, of all those backs that really gets hit it. But for a smaller guy, he really runs hard too. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when he gets on the field with the big speed and ATN and what he can bring. And, the rest of the draft just kind of, okay, let's fill some needs as backups, and you hope to hit on those.
How hard is it to renew a roster and create whatever they're trying to create, which at least it sounds to us, Mark, be tougher, be faster, be better. Across the board, they got a wish list.
Yeah, you gotta bring in the right players. You got to bring in the right mindset of, okay, these are, you have to identify, because not all players are made equal as far as you can have talent but not have toughness. You can be a tough guy without a lot of talent. You're trying to find the most talented, toughest players with the high character that you can. So I think the more you infuse the roster with those sort of that mentality, the better you'll be. And, you know, unfortunately for this team, it's maybe a lot of guys have been around and haven't seen a lot of winning and haven't seen ways to be coached right and the right mindset, the right winning mindset in that building. And so it starts now, and it starts with your head coach, it starts with your GM, and it starts with your quarterback.
We're wrapping up with Mark Ross at the NFL Network. Mark, can it be flipped here quickly? Is it possible with the roster they have and the additions they've made, can they flip it quickly?
Again, it's not a secret. It really isn't. Yes, they can. You look at the division, it's Houston and the Colts, and you're like, okay, and the Titans, like, okay, we'll start there. And they should be looking and say, all right, can we beat Houston? Are we better than them? And just when you look at the overall talent, you're like, yeah, we should be okay. We're not out of it talent-wise, but he has to do it. If Trevor turns out to be what most people expected him to be, I had major question marks, but what y'all expected him to be down there, then yes, it can be turned around. And if it's the same old, then we'll be having this discussion again and top 5 pick and top 10 pick and all that.
So what are your major question marks? You said you have major question marks about Trevor. What concerns you the most, do you think?
Well, when he came out for the draft, I was one of the very, very few who saw sort of the flaws that he had, that he wasn't very accurate. He didn't handle pressure well. And those are things that you really, really had to dig into with him, because everything was so easy for him, and they just crushed people at Clemson, right, where he didn't really face a lot of defenses that caused him problems. But the very few times that he did not handle it very well, or the few times during the game, he did not handle it well. And that's the things that I've seen from him in the league. And it was almost to his detriment that he got built up for all those years of having it so easy, high school, college, so easy, and you don't know how to deal with that adversity in games or mid-plays. That's something you learn, and he just never really had to do that. And then now here, is he still figuring it out? We'll see. Has he figured it out? We don't know. But there's been flashes, but just that consistency hasn't been there.
Yeah, line play and run game or two when he kneels at the altar. That's what he's begging for right now. So we'll see if it comes to fruition this year. All right, last one, Mark. Did you put in order? I don't know how much you studied the AFC South. I'm sure you have looked at all of them. But did you put in order just what draft grades for the AFC South?
I did not put them in order. I'd have to check them out again. But yeah. I mean, the Texans, they helped out their O-line, and the Titans getting Cam. I mean, that's number one. I mean, you got to start from there with them getting Cam and just saying, okay, go transform our franchise, and that's what you're going to expect. And so, therefore, they're the default winner as of right now.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Hey, man, we appreciate it. You can definitely check them out. The Insiders, Path to the Draft, plenty more from the NFL Network with Mark Ross. Enjoy the afternoon.
Okay, take care.
All right. So, in fair questions with Trevor. You heard what he said. That's fair. And got to get it done.
Yeah, no excuses. No more excuses.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. No more excuses. You got to give an update.
Speaking of no more excuses.
Update. End of the first quarter was 21-7. Miami was down 24-7. Halftime score 24-21.
24-21. So Miami has closed the gap.
Wow.
Okay. Both on offense. Was there a defensive score anywhere here?
Ed Reed.
Oh, yes.
I mean, of course, Ed Reed.
Ed Reed.
Right?
And we were talking about the back end getting torched early.
Yeah, they did. They took their lumps early on.
All right. So
figuring it out, what you're saying.
Yeah, Jamar and Justin put them to work on them.
Burrow has got to be just totally ticked off about that. All right, so halftime again?
24-21, LSU.
All right, so we'll keep it going. Our mythical matchup, this is one to make it to the Natty in the Searcy Sweet 16. 641-1010. You can let us know how you think it's going to go. 0-1 Canes closing the gap against the 19 LSU Tigers.
Frank Franchi.
Questions? Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Frank Franchi.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Yeah, but he ought to have a real gig.
92.5 FM.
Next question.
Are you ready to step up to luxury?
Check out the power of our exciting 2025 lineup, including the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Vistique.
With over 15 electric Cadillacs in stock and more on the way, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and embrace luxury with a twist.
At Randy Marion, there are no tariffs. So visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, and see why our electric lineup turns heads.
Don't miss out. Drive Cadillac, electric or gas. We have both. Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's superior craftsmanship and timeless design. Right now, get $300 off all windows or $825 off patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires April 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we want it, we got to bring it.
My thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler, and this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA-certified natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design, and Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase, so get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hacker here, taking you back exactly 1 year this week. I was only 9 weeks into Awaken 180 and had already dropped 54 pounds. Seriously, that's like shedding a first grader in just over 2 months. That's wild, right? Fast forward to today, 2 months into my maintenance, and I'm still down over 115 pounds. Not a pound put back on. It's like Awaken 180 gave my weight a permanent eviction notice. Now listen up. We all want to have goals, but sometimes they seem to be far-fetched. This one won't be. Dropping 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180. It's doable when you have a proven program with an excellent coach by your side. Weekly weight loss, enjoying the ride, and reaching your goal. We all did it. No reason you can't. Set your goal, make the call, and reach 40 by the 4th with the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346 1800.
AC replacement? Not warming up when you want it? If your HVAC unit is close to calling it quits, make sure you call Florida Home AC. With over $4,500 in buyback and tax credits waiting for you, take advantage of it. 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Immediately, the Canes will try to strike deep as they go down the middle, and it is touchdown. Andre Johnson was all by himself.
3rd down and 2.
Field goal makes it an 8-point game, but they don't want a field goal.
And Burrow keeps it. Joe Burrow might be a Heisman moment right there if he hasn't produced enough of them.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That play-by-play was accurate. Might be a Heisman moment if he hadn't already produced enough of them. That's how good Joey Burrow was. There's no question that he exited Columbus, Ohio as a backup, went to Baton Rouge, starred, looked good, not great, and then turned up the wick the next year. And so Burrow against that fantastic Ed Reed-led defense in a, I don't know if I call it a slugfest when you have, well, what are we, 20? What's the score now?
24-21.
Well, no, we're early in the third quarter now. 31-21.
31-21. LSU.
Okay, there's another.
We got to
big
go.
play.
JJ's at the stadium. We got to go
There's
for
another
a quick
big
update.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, you got him hooked up.
JJ.
Hey, can you hear me?
I got you, man.
Okay.
Barely.
I don't really know what's happening in the game. I just had to fight off 3 Tigers fans myself.
Oh, my God.
So even if we lose, we really won. Back to you.
So those bourbon swilling Baton Rouge boys, if they take a swing, all you got to do is stay still. They'll never hit you. Okay, don't worry about it. And
Did
you
one
know
of the guys say his name was Vic?
I think Big Vic, I heard somebody say.
Oh, my gosh. Big Vic was so fired up for that one. All right, so this is I don't know.
Middle of the third quarter, LSU's up 10, 31-21.
Yeah, I'm worried.
You got to come. Do they have a comeback in them? I almost said you, and I'm thinking the you with Leon. Do they have a comeback in them? I'm not sure. I am not sure.
I don't know, man. I mean, because now
only
you're
2
at the point. I know it's only 2 scores, but now you're at the point where you're trading scores at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
our
LSU's
defense
probably
will get a
figured out
stopper
that defense
here. They got to get a stopper.
Well, they haven't got to stop yet.
See,
here's
here's
up
what
31
happens.
points in not even 3 quarters.
I haven't been watching the game. Like I said, I got into it at halftime.
Too busy
He's in the beer line.
Yeah.
He's in the beer line right now. Again. So this is what happens. It's just like a golf match. If you let that other cat get up 2 or 3 strokes, and then you guys birdie, par,
Chasing
par.
points, man.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You got to get a 2-shot swing here somewhere, which would be
You need a turnover, Leon.
yeah,
you
you
guys
need
are
a
desperate for a
sudden
turnover.
change play. Okay, and when you start thinking about it, and we went down the roster, Leon, do you have the number of NFL players that were on that 2001 team that eventually were drafted? Did you give me more than 3 dozen?
17,
yes.
right?
No, that was 17. They had 17 first-round picks.
17 first
And
rounders.
they had 38 draft picks.
38.
38 from that roster.
It's crazy.
Well, let me just tell you guys something that might not be too good. If you're thinking the Canes have a chance to come back. So Burrow in 2019 threw 527 passes. He threw 6 picks.
That's doing work right
Bro,
there.
that might be a problem for you guys.
That is doing work, absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Are you
that
kidding?
may or may not be a problem for you guys. That's all I'm saying.
Let me see if I can find one other one here because it's just as far as the Let me see if I can find this. The defense is concerned because
Plus, I mean, you got CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who ran for 1,400 yards that year.
Yeah.
They're just going to start grinding clock now, man.
Yeah, and Eddie's a technician, okay?
Better believe that,
Okay,
man.
he's a technician with food, women, and the clock.
He's
all right?
getting them fired up on the sideline right now, too.
Now,
Are you saying Coker he's out of his league right now? Going
he
up
might
against
be.
Eddie O?
On 3 different levels, he might be out of his league.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
On food, women, and clockwork.
Wine, women, and song.
By the way, that Miami team would never give up those type of numbers, man.
Well,
Listen, that 2019 national championship game was a game until the third, like late in the third quarter.
Clemson had them within reach till like late in the third quarter.
All right, I want to just at least give you these numbers because we got the orthopedic, okay? Gio has made it in, so we got to get to him real quick.
Money!
But LSU played against 2 of the top 3 defenses in the country, with Georgia number 1, Clemson number 3. SEC championship was 37-10. Natty ended 42-25. So
that Georgia defense in 2019 was really good.
So
And
they outscored their whole schedule based on the numbers you were just giving earlier, 726 to 328. Okay, that is just insane. Speaking of insane, I'm using
Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in.
I'll just use the word insane to describe Gio getting to the 1010 XL studios.
Yes,
Okay?
not his medical advice.
I know Matt said money, but I thought about this morning. I'm actually very proud of Matt.
Yeah?
I was on my phone. I woke up this morning.
can't wait to hear this.
The first thing everyone does with their phone. And you know how the iPhone gives you like some news articles you can click?
Yeah.
And everything's paywalled.
Yeah.
But there's one that wasn't, and it was about Bill Belichick. So I clicked it. And it was a USA Today article. I'm reading about how Bill Belichick is owned by his girlfriend. And I'm reading, and I look at who wrote it, and it was Matt.
I thought you were going to say, I opened up my phone and this IG post, this video that Matt sent me was hilarious because we try to one-up each other.
Yeah, exactly. They're always entertaining those. But Gio, you can entertain them with some free medical advice for a few minutes here, 641-1010. If you do want to jump in with a sports injury question, we try and get to them. I have a couple left over from the last visit that you had, and then we got to get to a couple of them that have taken place here, either on the diamond or on the hard court. But I'm just going to ask you these questions right now from our listeners. Had ACL surgery after almost dislocating my knee 18 years ago. Recently, that knee was popping without pain. Also feels loose.
Yeah. I would bet that knee is arthritic and that ACL now is insufficient. It is not working. The popping could have been from just some osteophytes, some bone spurs that are causing the popping. And sometimes people that have arthritis, occasionally they feel they can, not all the time, but sometimes they feel like their knee's loose because their ACL and PCL become insufficient. They don't work anymore, and the knee is just not stable. That would probably be the reason if I had to just guess.
Would you give bone spurs a little tutorial on that?
So when you get arthritic, your body builds bone spurs or osteophytes, which is the medical term, and it's just basically, if you look at an x-ray of a normal knee and then an abnormal osteoarthritic knee, it's extra bone that's growing around that joint, around that area. So anyone that has arthritis, once you get osteophytes or bone spurs, as we like to say, you're at the more moderate to severe stage of, you're getting there of arthritis.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. No,
I was just going to say, because I think as the layman, when he hears bone spurs, he thinks of like a spur
on the foot.
Yeah,
right. And that's the more common thing a lot of people think about. But we also like to say bone spurs for osteophytes, right? So for arthritic, that's where people have arthritis, we call them osteophytes. But we also say bone spurs, which is the non-medical term. It's like saying a broken bone, which is the non-medical term, and a fracture, which is the medical term.
Got it.
All right, 30 years old, in great shape. Hey, Doc, Chris Bryant in the Major League had been diagnosed with degenerative disc disease. Just so happens I was given the same diagnosis on my lower spine last year. Been dealing with pain ever since. Any suggestions on how to deal with it?
Yeah, so degenerative disc disease is in between. So you have your vertebra, and in between there's this like jelly donut, we like to say, and that's your disc. And if you get an MRI, a healthy disc is white. And as it dehydrates, it gets darker in color because it's losing its moisture. And that's the name degenerative disc disease. And what happens is sometimes you get some collapse, and that collapse can cause some pain, some pinched nerve, decreased range of motion. What can you do for it? There's really not much you can do. Some people, there's some studies on injecting stem cells in there or PRP in there, and maybe you can do something with that, but there's really no cure for degenerative disc disease. You can strengthen your core, strengthen your back for the muscles around it. And then eventually, if it gets severe, right, that's when you have severe back pain, you get a fusion, all that stuff. That's long ways down the road. Sometimes nothing happens. As you get older, all of us, if you get an MRI, you're going to have some degenerative disc disease, right? That's just the nature of the beast as growing older. So just because you have it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just part of aging. The problem becomes if you're symptomatic. And he's having some pain, I would recommend some therapy, core strengthening, back strengthening. And other than that, there's really not much you can do. And I wouldn't, if you're a laborer, make sure that you protect your back when you're picking up stuff. You bend down, squat instead of lifting over. That can help. But other than that, it's just sometimes part of the aging process.
Yeah, be smart about it, especially therapy. All right, so 2 quickies before we turn you loose. Doc, 34 years old, had lateral ankle reconstruction about 10 years ago. Now, numbness, lack of feeling on the top of the foot. Would PRP help with that?
Yeah, I'm assuming that numbness has been since the surgery because there's a nerve there that covers the anterior portion of the foot. And I'm assuming just after the surgery, it either, who knows, got injured or never came back. We love to say nerves shut down just by retracting them. Sometimes we retract a nerve to protect it, and the patients are numbness and tingling after, even though you were 100% sure nothing happened. But you just pulling on that nerve just to move it out of the way can cause some numbness and tingling. Usually comes back. If it doesn't come back, then the chances of it coming back at this point are minimal. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think PRP is going to help it at all. Can you try it? Sure, it's your own blood.
Right.
But I think if he were at my office or she were at my office, I would say it's probably a waste of your money. If you want to try it, you're more than welcome to, but I don't think it's going to do anything.
All right, that's good advice because he's not going to take money from you. He's going to say, hey, think about it, which is smart. BariOrthopedics.com. You can check him out online. They got locations all over the city of Jacksonville. Last was pretty obvious. Question for Dr. George Bari. How hurt are you over the Miami Heat just getting run right out of the NBA playoffs?
Honestly, I was hoping they didn't even make it.
Yeah.
Just,
So you didn't have to see that.
That's a fan who is really pissed
Just get him
off.
out.
Yeah.
But he's just saying, well, I was hoping they didn't make it anyway. So
No, because they were terrible. They weren't going to get past. I'm surprised they got to where they were at to begin with. And now we just lost some draft. Not that the NBA draft is as good as NFL draft, but still, there was no point of time.
I know. It did not go anywhere near where you wanted it to go. I totally get it.
You're not going to run Spoelstra out?
That's for sure.
No.
Dude, he's done stuff with this team that they shouldn't be in places where he's been. I would keep him. I wouldn't. I'd keep him.
Leon and I are in the same place with the Lakers right now, down 3-1.
Yeah, we are.
Trying to figure out what's going to go on.
The Lakers in 5.
Against Ant-Man and company. All right, Dr. George Bari, we call him Gio. We love him. Check out BariOrthopedics.com for anything when it comes to joint pain, joint health, and the official team doctor of the Jack Sharks will be right there to help you.
1010XL. Home of the Florida Gators. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Brought to you by San Jose Collision.
It was a massive series victory over the weekend for the Gators as they battled back Sunday to defeat the 5th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. With the series tied up 1-1 going into Sunday, the Gators were down 5-2 early in the second before clutch pitching and hot bats took over to get the job done, winning 9-5 for the series win. With no midweek game, they look ahead to next weekend series with South Carolina.
Frank Franzi here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
I mean, to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 30th, 1939, Lou Gehrig sets MLB record playing his 2,130th consecutive and final game for the New York Yankees.
It's your main man E.T. and Monday is Cinco de Mayo at Twin Peaks with a costume party on May 5th. Specials on tequilas, cervezas, and even wine. And I'm here in the service. I'm going to bring the spicy costumes too. Twin Peaks for Cinco de Mayo, where the party gets spicy.
Frank Frangie here. I was talking to a buddy the other day. His HOA told him his old fence had to go. I said, man, call Coil Fencing. They've been around the block since 1927. Heck, they probably built half the fences in Jacksonville. They do it all. Tough chain link for security. Those fancy aluminum ones the HOA actually likes. Nearly a century of keeping yards safe and looking good. If you need a fence, call Coil. You can trust the folks at Coil. 904-356-4821 or visit CoilJacks.com. COYLE Jacks.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. While we've earned the reputation as North Florida and South Georgia's preeminent official Rolex jeweler, it's important to point out that at Underwoods we carry other watches too. We start with Seiko, the most reliable, serviceable watch made for under $500. And they've started making jeweled, self-winding watches again, and sports watches you'd have to see to believe. Next we have Tavan, the Swiss-made ladies and men's and dress and sport watches, and they start at $575. Another name we carry is Tudor, inspired by Rolex with the same founder and owner, the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation. And their sport watches and chronographs are the rage in Swiss timekeeping, with new in-house watch movements and exciting new model introductions every year. So if you're interested in watches, we have what you want at Underwoods, and all of our watches carry a 5-year warranty. At Underwoods, in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out the 2025 Hills Pass at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Unlimited golf, including golf car, and preferred tee times for just one low price. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to purchase your Hills Pass today.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
Corona Premier, a light beer with just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. The premier side of life. For those that are active and on the go, pick some up the next time you're heading out to enjoy the day under the sun. Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified and take 25% off all services. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them Hicken or 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, end of the third quarter, going into the fourth, 31-31.
Oh!
All right, end of regulation, LSU 41, Miami 41.
Oh!
Overtime. Overtime score.
Oh,
LSU 44, Miami 44. Double overtime. LSU 44, Miami 50.
Let's go!
Not
Canes for life!
what we expected.
Double OT.
Bro, I'm telling you what I pulled.
Wow.
I told you.
I knew we'd get a stop when we needed it most.
Well, I don't even know what to say.
Ed flippin' Reed.
That might have been the best game I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was
awesome.
It was awesome.
Oh, my God.
So now we got the matchup set for the national championship. 01 Canes, 08 Gators.
Wow.
Score it all, baby.
This is nothing
For the
but-
greatest ever.
This is 3-5-2 versus the 305.
Are they going to be able to bounce back and play another game after that?
Right.
Oh, there's a couple of guys.
How do you get off the mat emotionally after that double overtime win?
And a couple guys banged up.
Yes.
Oh, now Joe wants us injured. You hear this? Now we're injured going into this game.
Gio just left. He's
The
got to
best
get back.
part about this is
Andre Johnson broke his leg.
anyone who started listening this a month ago could see this from a country mile that it was going to be the 01 Canes against the team that's
Not so
the
much.
Gator Radio Network.
Not so much in the Final Four. Now, I told you what I did for the Final Four. That's why I told you down the
Well,
stretch.
listen, there are people right now that a late flag is what allowed you guys to get back in this bad boy.
Good. It's karma.
Yeah, exactly. I guess this is not a shot.
Ridiculous. It's a flipping holding call on LSU that would negate a touchdown. You guys would have lost the game.
Yeah, Jefferson was 100% held on that one.
I love it.
All right, Matt.
Leon, you did the right thing.
I mean, my takeaway is I'm drained by Leon's Sweet 16. Emotionally, just spent right now.
Well,
it's big. It's as big as it gets. Tomorrow's the championship game.
Yeah.
Can they bounce back that quickly? I mean, it's like the NCAA tournament. Can you just?
It's all good, baby.
All right.
Listen, they are pointing the finger on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures that this thing was 100% rigged, that someone has fixed the game, and this will not stand. They're contesting their tickets in Vegas right now.
It's really sad Gator fans cheering against us. Well, like you guys would have had to play either one, so it's a lose-lose.
Yeah,
really.
you live in fear, so you try and figure out which one that you don't want to
Right,
face.
y'all have run from him for 3 decades. Now you got to play him in the biggest game ever. So now what are you going to do?
I'm going to Timmy it is what I'm going to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a great point. I mean, you can say all you want about the 01 Canes being the greatest ever. You're going up against Jesus tomorrow, man.
And they stopped a running quarterback before. It's fine.
Yeah, well, that's not any running quarterback.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's not. You're talking about one unique.
He was
cat.
AI.
Jonathan Vilma will be fine.
He was AI before AI. All right, so all right. And by the way,
AI wishes he was Timmy Tebow. Okay.
It's just going to set up well. It really is. So we'll see where it goes. But what a joy this has been.
What a joy.
It really was it's been a great contest, Leon, and thank you for giving us that.
Yeah, and he's enjoyed it. He put it together, and the committee's the committee. And there was definitely some arguing, some swilling, and some disagreements. But they finally narrowed it down to the best 16. And look, you guys can have your opinions. Definitely rigged.
But it was played out on the field.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you can't argue with that.
In the words of the great Jeff Lebowski, that's like, your opinion, man.
Yeah, that's just your opinion.
Opinion, man.
So my takeaway is, wow, Belly. Belly and the Muse, man.
You can read Matt's piece at USA Today Sports.
It's, I mean, we all have watched him in press conferences. We've all seen how he has 1-word answers, 3-word answers. Hell, in that interview alone on CBS this morning, he was very gruff, very short with his answers. And now he comes out on University of North Carolina letterhead stationery, no less, with like a 300-word explanation of who the Muse, well, not even really who the Muse is, but how it wasn't supposed to be that way, the interview. How about Belichick? The guy, no frills, do it the right way guy, is like whining a little bit for the first 150 words. Well, It wasn't supposed to be that way.
Okay, but hang on. Did you just say do it the right way, guy?
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
My way or the highway guy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
And he's whining for the first half of that release, whatever you want to call it, about how it wasn't supposed to be that way. Okay, Bill, we'll you know what? We'll be sure to make sure every interview is done exactly through your parameters.
He's a kinder, gentler belly.
And then he goes on and says that, there's this, whatever, that everybody's wondering where they met. Well, we met on a flight in 2021 to Palm Beach.
Okay, is that not good enough for you?
No, my point
Typical
is,
journalist sticking up for fake news.
No,
CBS.
why didn't he just say that initially?
He
That would have been easy.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. No.
She jumped in and said, we're not talking about this.
No, he didn't. She did. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, she said
he was
that.
speechless.
Right, but when she said that and made it very clear who wears the jersey in the relationship, okay, he could have very easily just looked at her and said, it's all right, babe. We went on a flight, 2021, Palm Beach. And then if he tried to dig deeper, then he just says, no, that's personal. And that's it. Move on.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, we do have a lot of solutions for whenever they do screw it up, how easy we could make it.
Because in the moment, he's panicking. You know why he's panicking?
Because they didn't meet on a flight.
Yes, because he doesn't want to know where they met.
And that's why at least he told one truth in that, is that she is his...
The truth is easy, JoJo. The lying is not easy.
Of course. But what did he say? It was his companion
It's the
and
truth. Only if you believe it, in the words of George Costanza.
Coworker.
Give me the what was it?
They work professionally and personally together.
Yes, there you go.
He never even said her last name. He just said Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, no one calls their girlfriend by their last name. That's weird.
Yeah, but in an official release, you probably would. Like in an official release like that.
I've never had to make an official release about me and my girl's relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, well, that's just you and your girl. You're not a 6-time winning Super Bowl coach.
True.
But if he said we're pals professionally and personally, then I think he told the truth there. I really did.
She's an assistant.
Yeah, I really do. She's on
the
the
North Carolina.
No,
she's on the clock.
No, by saying professionally, he was saying she's his
believe me
comms director or whatever.
Professional
or
could be taken
muse.
a number of different ways, and so he did.
I see Joe's point.
Yeah, he did tell the truth there.
Now I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
That kind of went over my head.
It takes a second.
Right.
It
Now
takes
I
a
got
second.
it. Okay.
But now we're all on the same page.
Now we're on the same. Now that's very funny, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Weakest link on that 0-1 team was the quarterback, says one of our texters.
Maybe true. That shows how strong the team was. That guy was invited to New York in the Heisman ceremony.
Well,
so if you think that he was one of the weakest links, then fine, I'll take that.
But it's a Miami fan pointing it out.
Yeah,
So
that means our team is strapped.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't make the last play of that game against Ohio State because C. Grant was on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Ken Dorsey was the weakest link. No way. I thought he was a great quarterback in college.
I agree.
A great college quarterback.
All right. It's not artificial intelligence. It's Leon intelligence.
L.I.
Jags dude from Green Cove. Love it.
It is L.I. There's no doubt it's L.I.
Oh, all right. So if nothing else, the one mission that we had with any of this coming out of March Madness, taking you through this time where we're talking about potential when it comes to drafting players and whatnot, this took you back in time. This took you back to some of the great teams that you have seen, that you have been treated to, that you'll never be able to answer the question.
The highlights. I forgot a lot of these plays, man.
I love them. You'll never be able to answer the question, would that team have beaten that team? Because you just can't do it.
Well, you can now.
Well, yeah.
We've made it.
That's why we provide a service.
I mean, L.I. has literally
Before
told
this
you.
tournament, yes.
I do think we do have a new name now, or a new acronym, L.I.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, I mean, we're going to start doing Jags picks in the season through L.I. too. There's no doubt we are.
Ooh,
It'd be nice
I like
if we could
that.
get some.
That's a good summer topic.
We should go week by week, do L.I. and end up with the Jags. In fact, the schedule's coming out May 15.
Yeah.
So we should start doing, probably one game a week, L.I.
Mm-hmm. And see what the record ends up being.
See what the record ends up being.
Some people have they've really come after this thing, and they've accused us of it being rigged.
There's some people that are taking it way too personally.
Right.
Yeah. We get it. Your guys aren't as good as 2001
especially
Miami.
Georgia fans. It's enough already,
It's
man.
so many Georgia fans.
Y'all lost 08 Florida. Just deal with it.
And they are a little worried about us. They said, if you weren't betting on this exact outcome, you deserve to lose your money. So they're definitely fired up about it. You know who else is fired up?
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Well, the flame throwing embedded and shredded is always ready to go. But
in the heater.
Pick your poison, man. The 08 Gators are in the national championship game waiting to see who they're going to face. 2001 Miami or the Baton Rouge Bengals of 2019. And in the end, double overtime.
I'm pulling for LSU in that semifinal.
You're not getting your wish.
It was double OT. Oh, no. Burrow pulled it out?
No, Miami did.
Oh, Miami. Okay, good. Well, I say good. I mean, it's bad for Florida, but it's a great win for the Hurricanes.
That's the reaction we were looking for, just to gauge exactly where he might be with this.
Right, because the 2019 Gators actually had a chance in that game against LSU. That was on the road. They almost won that game.
I've got the Canes as a 8.5-point favorite.
8.5, more than.
I mean, the whole team started in the NFL.
We said it earlier,
and the backups
off of that team, 38 ended up in the NFL.
To me, it's the greatest college football team of all time, and to me, there's a gap between them and everybody. Now, I base a lot of that on how good they were as pros. Yeah. But, I mean, that team?
Oh, hey, that's why you play the games, man. Let it play out, because you never know what happens tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, no, I get it.
Plus,
they're going to need Florida's going to need a miracle.
Well, they got touchdown Jesus on their side, too.
Well,
miracle.
Maybe it'll work out.
Real touchdown Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard Larry Coker's inviting Eli Manning to
You do have,
on
the only thing I'd say for the Gators in that, you do have a big coaching edge there.
Yeah.
So maybe that can be worth a few points.
Where is the game being played, Leon? We haven't asked you yet. The national championship game.
Pasadena.
Both cross country.
Oh, my gosh.
The Tournament of Roses
Doesn't
is
get
actually
any better, man.
Tournament of Roses will lead us off tomorrow.
And Keith and St. Peter's giving Keith a little dispensation to come down and do the game, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
He doesn't have to leave the state.
Man.
That was one of his requirements towards the end. He said, I'll call them as long as they're on this side of the Rockies.
So good.
All right, so the Devin Lloyd decision, not a shock.
Not a shock, no.
So I'm knowing that you guys are getting it. But this it's for me, Hayes, it's just one more salvo of what was, and they're blowing it up. They're just saying, we're going to be different.
And again, it maybe Devin Lloyd will, now that it's a contract year, maybe he'll have the best year he's ever had, and and maybe they can work out a deal or something. But yeah, they made the right move in declining the 5th-year option. We're going to have a really fun Frangie show coming up. We're going to break down that Florida-Miami game position by position to get fans excited. Brett Hastings will also, sure thing, will also stop by to talk some sports and courts, so it should be a really fun Frangie show coming up.
All right, my man. Sounds good. Hayes, France, JJ, they will keep you entertained throughout the afternoon.
Here's another thing, too, real quick. Yeah. All you guys like texting Leon on the text line. He doesn't look at the text line, so you're wasting all your time.
Beauty of it. Absolutely. That's so beautiful about it.
Yeah, Li is over there on his own little machine, making stuff happen. All right, so you got the Frangie Show into the night with Rick Ballou, Hacker After Dark. We load you up here in the city of Jacksonville with the best when it comes to all the Jag talk and everything else. We had a great time today. Don't forget the Golf Club of Southampton. I'll be out there later. You can call 287-PLAY. You can come out and talk about this tournament. 9-hole game, skins game, food, prizes. It's all part of it. Thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. You got the Frangie Show coming up next.
Not talking about this.
No.
No.